Well, good evening, incoming students and Blue Jay families. Thank you for joining us for tonight's Hop on Board webinar. For those who have been here before, you have probably seen me a lot. I am John Fox. I serve as a project manager in student transitions and family engagement, and my work is primarily focused around supporting incoming Blue Jay families. And so if you have been to previous Hop on Board webinars, you know that we cover a wide variety of topics, and I'm really excited about tonight's topic because it's actually a new one that we have not offered before. This is a partnership and a great webinar that will really provide you with some great unique information about Hopkins. And so thinking about Hopkins being innovative and creating an ecosystem to benefit students, tonight's panelists, you will hear about accelerators, grants, mentors, and more opportunities to help students interested in learning about venture pathways. Whether it's starting their own company or navigating 21st century startup careers, this webinar will demonstrate the burgeoning innovative scene on campus. Our expert panel tonight includes innovators from the Pava Center for Entrepreneurship and Integrative Learning and Life Design. So a couple housekeeping things before I turn it over to our panelists. Remember, there's a Q&A feature at the bottom of your Zoom window. That's how you will communicate with our panelists this evening. You're welcome to drop questions in at any time. They will go through their content, but anything that they haven't covered or that spurs a question for you, feel free to ask that question, and we will do that towards the end of the program. If there are any other topics or questions that you have beyond our topic for tonight, feel free, as always, to reach out to Blue Jay Families at jhu.edu, and I will get you connected or answer your question. And as one last note, as we go along, you will see some links to some of the discussion, so you will be able to access some of the content that's being discussed. So without further ado, I am delighted to introduce to you my colleague Josh Ambrose, who serves as the director for the Pava Center for Entrepreneurship. So please welcome him.
Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone for joining us this evening. It is such a pleasure to have you here. Again, I'm Josh. I'm the director of the Pava Center for Entrepreneurship, which is our hub on campus for all things startup. I've been here at Hopkins for just about 6 years and a long career before that. But I do this work because I am passionate about innovation. I believe that it is one of the best ways to have power and to have influence to do good in the world. And we are very excited and very passionate about helping Hopkins students achieve all of their potential and choose careers that fulfill their objectives and their goals. And we firmly believe that entrepreneurship is the innovative skill that is needed in the 21st century to succeed. I want to draw attention right away to our website, which is pavacenter.jhu.edu. And everything that we discuss here tonight can be found in greater depth on that site. So programs, teams, funding, mentors, all kinds of great things covered on that. So again, as I said, we are the hub for student, alumni, and community entrepreneurs, and we welcome anyone from the curious to the committed. It's worth noting that we function as an extracurricular hub, and so we do not charge money for our services. Our default is that Hopkins students own the IP, the intellectual property that they create, so we are not forcing ourselves into the cap table or taking ownership of the company, stated another way. And we are here as your encouragement, as your supporters, and as folks working full-time every day to try and help our student entrepreneurs succeed. This has had tremendous impact over all throughout campus. We serve all 10 schools, working with undergrads to postdocs. and from every kind of discipline and background that you can imagine. And this work has been truly transformative. The center was launched just a few years ago, but has had tremendous successes, and we're going to share some of those with you. We work from a co-working space that is open from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., 7 days a week, right on the edge of campus. We're very conveniently located next to the Our House Food Hall in Remington. We have a gym nearby, all kinds of great, the art museums just down the street. And we run a wide variety of programming, classes, and activities out of this space, which has resulted in all kinds of folks coming and hanging out with us. Over the last year or so, our team has grown to include a number of full-time staff, and we have an ever-growing roster of peer advisors. In fact, we're hiring for some right now. You can find those descriptions on the Smile platform. But our student interns work right alongside their fellow student entrepreneurs and help support them on their journey toward creating their own company. And that is what this really is all about. Maybe the word startup is new to you. I don't know how familiar you are with the phrase entrepreneurship, but we're here to help students become founders and create companies to create lasting change, whether it's a nonprofit, whether it's a tech startup, a bio health organization, whatever the case is, whatever your background is, we are here to help you create a sustainable venture where you can move forward with that. It's worth noting that we work with hundreds of teams each year, including over 200 unique ventures in our programming this past year. And our programming all fits within this continuum of engagement. I said earlier the phrase from the curious to the committed. And that goes all the way from very early for those that say they are interested in being an entrepreneur but don't know where to get started, all the way up to teams that have already raised millions of dollars. We have the full spectrum that we support in our center. And so with that, I'd like to turn things over to Deja for the next couple of talking points to tell you a little bit more about those early stage supports. Because Deja, I know you do a lot of work with those teams.
I do, and I love it. Good afternoon, good evening to all of you. My name is Deja. I am a student program administrator here, which really means that my job is to support all of you into finding what you'd like to do when it comes to building something while you're here as a student. Before I talk into programming, I want to take a step back and tell you what an accelerator or an incubator is. You can think of these as like programming to help you develop as a startup founder. It's not a class, it's an experience where we try to show you how to work the entrepreneurship muscle with an expectation that you're going to apply that to your own venture, not just to pass a class. We pay you to complete these programs. I'm going to repeat that. We pay you real money dollars to help you complete these programs, and we do not take any ownership at all with your idea. So just like Josh said, if you're curious about building something and you don't know where to start, or maybe you have a venture that you're taking over from high school and you need some more support, we've got a program for you, and we'd love to talk to you how we can support you. So let's start at the early stage for the folks who have an idea, but maybe not the big idea yet, but want to make the most out of these Pava resources. Our Kindling program is a perfect start for those who want to build, who want to create something, but again, those first steps, a little bit unsure. We spend the entire semester focusing on the problem, the relevant people that may know that problem intimately, and of course, the path to profit. Because ideally, if you're a business person, you want to make some money off of that idea and sustain that business. This is a semester-long program. It is extracurricular, and you can come down to the Pava Center space and we'll chat with you, kind of like curriculum lesson-like, so you can apply that to your venture. You kind of get a nice introduction to the innovator ecosystem. Everybody who's building likes to build out of the Pava Center. We also give you some connections with investors if you're ready to raise, but we also show you how to get some other non-dilutive funding so you can continue to build the thing that you want to build. You leave all of these programs with a foundation of what a startup needs and a nice introduction to what the industry is looking for. You also leave with a nice big network. But I want to also tell you about Spark. So if you have an idea already, maybe you're working on something, have some early customers, you can consider the Spark program. This is a bit of a more rigorous program, but we're expecting you to have some early ideas of what your startup is, maybe some early customer conversations. There's no prereqs for this program, even though it is in a continuum place. You come in where your venture is aged appropriately at. We want to make sure we're giving you the resources that make the most sense for you and your venture at the time. I will say Spark is a bit competitive. We usually get around hundreds of applicants, but we go through and we apply. You get like a strategic advisor, pretty much like a consultant, that's going to help you figure out business problems and apply them to your venture directly. It's not a class, it is real work with real venture outcome. You get $500 for completing this program. You also get the opportunity to pitch against your colleagues for an additional non-dilutive funding. There's a lot of great opportunities here, and I'll pass it back to Josh to talk about our older, more advanced stage ones too.
Thanks, Deja. As she mentioned, every single one of these programs have grants associated with it, which are all philanthropically funded. And the further up you go on this continuum of engagement, the bigger that those grant numbers get and the more competitive. And so Fuel, Social Innovation Lab, et cetera, all have stipends around $5,000 with the opportunity to win up to $15,000 in additional funding. All the way up to our biggest award, the Presidential Venture Fellowship, which is for graduating students who are committed to working on their venture full time in the coming year. And that big award is $140,000. So again, we are investing significant time and effort into all of these opportunities. And so students, you're going to want to take advantage of that. It says that early stage funding is so important for getting these ideas off the ground, especially for those that may not have an immediate network to call on to fund that work. I also want to highlight that throughout all of these programs, there's a huge emphasis on getting to know your customer. And this is a little bit of my strategic venture advice for you right now. A lot of times, I think people try to build something and then they sell it. We put a big emphasis on doing the opposite, of finding out who wants what you are building and what are they willing to pay for it up front. Because if you just build something, maybe you even get a grant to work on it or whatever, you might have a really cool science project. But until you get someone to buy it, you don't have a business. And our goal is to help you create businesses. Deja, you want to tell us a little bit more about Avanish, another student example?
Yeah, so Avanish is the CEO of Neurosafety Systems, and he's a great proof point that you can come in with an idea and build something within a year with the support here in the system. So his team early embraced the pivot. They were initially thinking about could we build a tool that could help students stay up during a boring class? I'm sure some of you guys can relate to that. That then kind of switched to maybe we can help some pilots better fight fatigue while they're doing some very important missions. And that ended up for them to be in the long haul truckers market, which you might not ever think of, but they realized they found a problem that people were willing to pay for, and that is where they are right now. I'm really proud of Avanish because he came in with just an idea, and now he's got some backing from VCs who have $1 million minimum check sizes. He's also being an entrepreneur in residence at a VC during his summer before his graduation of next May. He's also a recent Fuel alum, so another great proof point of how mentorships and connections can expand your network and really revise what you thought was possible. Avanish is doing great, and if you come down to the Pava Center, you may bump into him.
And I'm so glad that you highlighted mentorship. One of the key things that we do is connect our student teams with mentors and industry experts all across the country. Many of them are Hopkins alums, but not all of them. We have friends in Baltimore and, in fact, even outside of the country that help connect students, to give them advice, to give them connections, and to help their odds of success. They also power all of our grants. So nothing that we do is powered by state or federal dollars. Everything is driven by alumni philanthropy, which we're really, really proud of and excited to see all of you here on this call become our next success story. Last year, we gave out almost $1 million in these grants to help you take those next steps and create businesses. And I'm really happy to share that over the last few years, those investments have paid off in spades. So our teams, since our center have opened, have raised well over $350 million from outside funders after building on that early seed money. So Hopkins students are building real sustainable businesses. We are a young center, so we're very much just at the beginning, and it's a rocket ship right now. So if you have any curiosity about all things startup, all things entrepreneurship, it's a really good time to come learn more and to get involved.
Yeah, and lastly, I would love to highlight Marie, who maybe some of you may relate to this problem. She went viral a few years ago because her burrito just kept exploding. You know, she couldn't keep it tight enough, and when she went into a bite, it would explode. So her and her team decided to design Tasty Tape, which initially was a little adhesive that you would aside to a side of a burrito, so you can enjoy it with all the contents in one place. So this is now has grown to be a food safe packaging product that really resolves all of those messy food issues. And after graduation, they have broadened to their impact to look at how else they may reduce microplastics in food packaging. You can see on the slide there that they actually won Time Magazine's Best Invention, and her advice that she puts on the slide here, I hope it.
Oh, I think we're having a little lag on Deja's audio, but I'll just finish her thought there of, Marie's advice is to get started and to go ahead and
all of
keep on
you.
going.
These resources exist. They're here for you, and they're very.
Yeah, no worries. Um, I'll just conclude the Pava Center portion by highlighting that we are very firmly grounded in Baltimore. We're a big believer in its current future, its current state as a startup city and where it's going, extremely bullish and proud of that. And we're, just razor focused on finding and supporting those founders that are committed to doing good, creating value and opportunity. Really delighted to be joined in that work by all of our friends at the Imagine Center of the Center for Integrated Learning and Life Design, which is kind of our new and improved version of a career center with a whole bunch of great strategy and innovation to accompany that. And that includes our friend Alex, who is here today. He works out of the Pava Center each week, but he's going to tell you more about our companion office, the Life Design Lab, and highlight a few things. So Alex, over to you, sir.
Appreciate it, Josh. Thank you. Josh, Deja, thanks again. My name is Alex Galliani. I am a life design educator here at Johns Hopkins, and staying on theme, I'm a Baltimore native as well. So really grounded in the work that we're doing here in Baltimore, and really excited to be supporting students both here locally in the community and connecting them with resources and opportunities in Baltimore as well as beyond. I have a specific focus on supporting students that are interested in exploring entrepreneurship, but from a slightly different lens. Students that are thinking about entrepreneurship maybe as a first destination employment opportunity for them as they begin to think about launching their careers. So maybe they're not feeling entrepreneurial and don't feel like they have an idea for a product or a solution, but they love the idea of working in a startup environment. So I work very closely with the Pava Center to really develop those pipelines between our two respective departments to connect students to resources. A little bit more about the Life Design Lab. I like to think of us as a career center to the 10th power. It goes well beyond a typical career center and the work that they're doing. No shade, not taking anything away from them, but we're really thinking about how we cultivate partnerships, expand experiential learning, expand employer engagement opportunities for the wider community, as well as for our students, providing mentorship opportunities, career development, and life design initiatives collectively for our students to broaden their pathways towards success. And how do we do that? Some of our pillars, really thinking about hands-on immersive experiences for students and really connecting them to actionable opportunities across the region and beyond. We work very closely with students from a mentoring standpoint. One, providing them with mentorship opportunities and making connections and introductions to the larger community, other entrepreneurs, business owners, some of the largest anchor institutions in Baltimore, and some of the largest organizations across the world as well. Also, each student has, depending on your major, has a life design educator that is specific for your major. So again, another great resource to be able to connect more closely with the Life Design Lab and find the support and the relevant support that's needed. Not going to read all of this, but just to give you an idea, this is an overview of a typical year for us. Actually, there'll be a few more bullets that we're working on this summer to add in here, but just looking at a wide variety of different opportunities that we're providing and we're cultivating on behalf of our students and the larger community, and really looking to serve as a real touch point for the campus, for the university, and the community as a whole. We do this a number of different ways, from internship academies to specific industry weeks that we're focused on highlighting those industries, those majors, and the work that's happening there as well. We're doing treks. We're going basically glorified field trips. We're taking students across the country and giving them real hands-on experience to connect with some of the greatest minds and leaders and organizations across the country. Some services and resources just for students to start thinking about the Imagine Center website. We're actually going through a bit of an overhaul right now. It should be live in the coming week or so, but a great opportunity for students to connect more specifically and dive into the resources and all the resources that are available through the center, as well as drop-in hours that life design educators are holding. So we have office hours that students are able to sign up for in advance, schedule a time and appointment to come in and talk about anything that's specific or top of mind, as well as there's just drop-in hours. If you just say, you know what, I don't have an appointment, but I want to stop in and see if I can get some help, or I have a question, I'm looking for an answer, that's fine as well. Handshake is another platform that we're using as a university, very specific for students that are looking for job opportunities as well as internship opportunities. We're also posting our events campus-wide here as well. So it's a great way to kind of get plugged in and stay plugged in what's happening here on campus, what feels right and relevant for students, for you all to be thinking about that you might want to attend. Every job opportunity that's posted here as well is vetted by our employer engagement team. So you're knowing that this is a trusted source that you're seeing that's already been vetted, that's on our platform. So we're incredibly proud of that. Our One Hop mentoring platform, another great avenue for students to be pursuing. This is, I think, almost like LinkedIn, but specifically for Hopkins students, as a great way to connect directly with Hopkins alum and Hopkins alum that have raised their hand specifically and said, hey, I want to serve as a mentor, I want to serve as a guide or as support, and I'm open to having conversations with students. So really feels like a low barrier to entry for students. So we're really proud of that resource as well. And again, the Imagine Center, where we're based out of, I feel like I'm competing a little bit here. Josh highlighted the location of the Pava Center, one end of campus, and it's next to our house, which is a really great food hall and a great museum as well. All I got is we're on the complete opposite side of campus, and we're next to the football field. So if you come out for a game, feel free, stop on by, and happy to support and happy to connect.
We definitely bookend campus, north and south. And I
Right.
should say, pretty short walk. It's about 10-minute walk, 15-minute walk. So all good
Yeah.
stuff.
Not bad. And I'll just kind of close out with this. And when we think about life design here at the university, we can really kind of sum it up here. My hope, my goal is that you all get curious about the wider world beyond the Hopkins campus, curious about different opportunities and resources across campus. Josh, Deja, and I are just barely skimming the surface. There's so many resources here and so many talented, passionate people that are excited to help and to support. You're gonna hear a lot of this, but we really encourage you all to, again, get curious, try new things, explore, talk to people, network. A really big priority for us here on campus. And then take action. Try different things. Don't be afraid of failure. Entrepreneurship has everything to do with failing forward, right? And making mistakes and continuing to learn and grow. I like to say I don't win or lose, I win or learn. So really looking at these opportunities as learning opportunities, and then be proud, show off the work, talk about the work that you're doing, that you're interested in, that you're excited about. Get excited. It's infectious. Others will get excited when they hear you talking about your journey of exploration and the things that you're doing and that you're trying. And I'll kind of close with this. I think for a lot of us, I don't want to speak for anyone else, but at least for me, my why has everything to do with helping you find your why. I get incredibly excited about helping you explore and find the work and the mission that really aligns for you and is most important to you. And I know you're about to embark on this incredible journey. And some of the things that I know I'm talking about and will continue to be talking about, we think about, oh, that's way down the road, networking and employers. It's never too soon, never too soon. Leverage us, take advantage of the resources. We're here to help and we're here to support. And I know that myself, as well as all of my colleagues, we're really excited about the possibility of opening up our networks to connect you with the broader world and all the opportunities that are afforded to you here on campus and beyond. So thanks again for joining us tonight, and really looking forward to seeing you on campus come the fall. And your inbox is gonna start to get flooded with lots and lots and lots of opportunities and different events that are gonna be happening across campus this fall. You're not going to be able to attend them all. That's okay. Be selective, but get out there and network.
Yep. Thanks, Alex. And I see your audio just muted. I don't know if that was on purpose or not, but it got a little clipped there. But you were just wrapping up your
I
final
was
thought with
wrapping up
saying,
anyway, and I kind of need that. Cut
uh,
me off. Shut me up.
no, that was perfect. I'm not sure what happened, but no, thank you. That was really great, and I love that emphasis on relationships. You know, the older I get, the more I'm just aware that businesses, entrepreneurship, startups, even just career success, it's all based on being able to talk to people and to form those connections, to form those relationships through your network and through the connections that other people make for you and all that kind of good stuff. Well, speaking of connections, we want to go ahead and turn to everybody here on the call. Unfortunately, we can't unmute you or put you on screen, but you can submit your questions via the Q&A function on Zoom. So we do encourage you to go ahead and do that. And Deja, I know you already got a question about academic credit. You want to riff on that for a moment?
Yeah. First of all, not a silly question. I know these programming. Oh, it looks like my internet's being silly again.
No, we got you.
Okay, perfect. All the programming that we offer within the center, it is extracurricular. So there is not currently any credit assigned to the Spark Kindling programs. However, Pava team, we often collaborate with other lecturers in the space. You may have some classes at the Pava Center. I'll actually send one in the chat for you if you're interested. So we do a lot of collaboration with folks on campus who are doing things in innovation and entrepreneurship. I hope that answers your question. No credit, but it will be a great opportunity still.
Could I just jump in and add, for us at the Imagine Center and the Life Design Lab, no credit as well, but we do have what's called a foundations portal, and it's a great career exploration platform. And if you complete all the modules, you get a cord at graduation. So no credit, but potential cord.
Yeah. So all kinds of great benefits. And I will say, that's one of the things I want to encourage all of you on the call. I think this is particularly true about entrepreneurship. It's really true about college as well. And that is, I've been teaching in higher ed for the better part of 2 decades. And, it is one of the biggest investments of your life. And if nothing else, with your time, let alone your finances, your mental energy, and all that kind of stuff. It will be what you make of it. And so, it's not something where you just plug in money and you get, a guaranteed outcome. It's dependent on what you try to strategize, what you try to get curious about, what you pursue. And that's what the Life Design Lab and all of their career conversations are all about. It's what we at the Pava Center are trying to help empower you to go out and build your own thing, to be your own boss. And so, I would say with both of our offices, you're not going to be required to come in. You're not going to be forced by your professor or your mom or your dad or, whoever. It's up to you. And, again, you've seen some of the numbers I threw up on the screen. We get thousands and thousands of people. We're having tremendous results. But I want to challenge you a little bit that not just with these 2 opportunities, but with everything else on campus, it's go time. It's up to you. What are you going to build? What are you going to exercise your control over? What are you going to go out and accomplish? We're here to support you in an environment that I think is second to none in the country. But ultimately, you're the driver, and we're excited to see where your curiosity, your passion takes you. I saw another question in the chat that was all about fame. Who are the most famous teams that have come out of our center? I really think that depends on what is your definition of fame. We've highlighted 3 different teams already, several of which went like super viral and got, featured on TV and Time magazine. That's pretty famous. One of our biggest teams was a very early team in the AI space and was using AI to analyze radiology images and detect cancer and other kind of medical imagery analysis. And they've raised, I don't even know, $100+ million at this point. So they're doing really cool and exciting stuff. Writ large, about half of our teams, this is Hopkins, so about half of our teams are doing work in the life sciences. That tends to be in devices or diagnostics. It's very rare for us to get a therapeutic at the undergraduate level. And then about half of our teams right now are doing something with AI. Hopkins is building the largest AI center in the country. In terms of academic study. We're onboarding all kinds of exciting faculty and investing a lot of money into that initiative because we know that not only is AI currently transforming the way we do everything, but it's going to continue to transform business and medicine and all kinds of really great things. So we're really excited for how that is growing. You may or may not know this, but one of the founders of OpenAI, not of OpenAI, of Anthropic is a Hopkins professor. And there's really exciting things happening both on campus and across the whole ecosystem that we will continue to highlight in the years to come. One of the things that's being rolled out this coming semester is all undergrads are going to have access to Claude as a tool to be used to build. And we're really excited by that, honestly. It's important to note, though, that with the startups that we support, we're what we call industry agnostic, meaning we do not require you to be working in a certain field. We've helped support nonprofits, we've helped support toy companies, we've helped support food and clothing and beverage. We got teams working in every possible industry and every possible space that you can imagine. Our job is to come alongside them, support them, encourage them, and see them succeed. So hopefully that gives you a little bit more insight. You can read about a lot of our teams on our website, which again is pavacenter.jhu.edu.
Josh, speaking about cloud access, we had a question on credits for building with LLMs. I know I assume we're still a partner of the Microsoft for Startups with the Azure credits. Are there any additional options for those who are building?
Yeah, really active relationship with Microsoft. I was just on the call with their folks in Seattle a couple days ago. Similarly, very active relationship with Amazon and the AWS for startups. We've had a number of our teams go on to the NVIDIA program and are getting all kinds of great technical support from NVIDIA for startups. So honestly, if you can think of a major industry partner or a major startup hub, we have work going on there. And that ties into a conversation. Someone asked, how much are we focused just on Baltimore? The answer is no, we're not just focused on Baltimore. I mean, yes, it's where we live and work, and we're really excited about what's happening here. We have great proximity to New York and DC. But yeah, we are spending time in those cities. We're taking students on road shows to those cities. Our students are doing internships and getting job placements all across the country. So, even just this year, our team has gone and visited San Francisco with students. We took a group of our startups to Seattle, where they met with venture capital investors and industry connections, as well as alumni. We took them to Philadelphia, to Wilmington, DC, New York. So we very much believe in getting off campus and meeting folks where they are. We're always looking for new intros or new connections. So parents, if anyone is here on this call and is interested in the startup space or knows someone or something that we should be talking to, please, my email is right here on the screen, joshambros@jhu.edu. We're always looking to build our network. Extremely proud of what our Hopkins students are building.
Alex, I think you've got a question in our Q&A right here. Is it possible to arrange a formalized student participate in LDL as an internship to recognize their engagement with the great opportunity youth-inspired research?
That is a good question. I think the short answer...
I can actually, I can jump in on that one a little bit, Alex. It all depends on what kind of internship folks are looking for. If they are looking to do one for academic credit, they will need to work out an arrangement, a sponsorship from a professor on campus and talk to their department. And that is very common. It happens quite a bit. And then if you're just looking to do some other kinds of internship, I mean, Alex, I don't know if you know a number off the top of your head, but I know your office facilitates hundreds of them.
We do, yeah. We do have a dedicated employer engagement team that works tirelessly to connect students with different opportunities, internship opportunities. Just to back up too, Josh, to kind of piggyback off of your earlier point, we are taking a group of computer science students back to Silicon Valley in January of this year as well.
Yeah. I also saw a great question around consulting. So the Pava Center is really focused on students who want to create their own business, who want to own their own startup. And so the short answer is no, we do not broker consulting relationships directly. The little bit longer answer is, but We work with all kinds of student orgs and initiatives across campus that do facilitate consulting or relationships. So there's the Product Management Club, and they work both with our teams and with outside startups, and they help do a whole bunch of that kind of work. There's the Cobalt Consulting Club. There's the Undergraduate Consulting Club. There is the Graduate Consulting Club. Carey Business School and some other campus departments have their own kind of consulting sprints and engagements. So the short answer is there are, I think it's very safe to say among, all of the undergrads and graduate students, there are thousands of students that are interested in consulting and getting gigs in that. And again, through the internship placement, through the job placement that the Life Design Lab and Alex's colleagues can help you with at the Imagine Center, there are a lot of opportunities to dig in deeper there as well. So hopefully that answers your question. But I will, maybe one final little embellishment on that is, again, I highlighted earlier that student interns work at the Pava Center and they end up consulting for their fellow students that are developing startups. So again, a really active place to get more involved with all kinds of great things happening. And we'll share a link in the chat here just around some other resources and connections around campus that you might want to start looking at as we aggregate all kinds of different ecosystem connections. One of those resources on the page is our makerspace. So yes, in the Pava Center space, we have 2,000 square feet of makerspace. This includes 3D printers, multiple resin printers, laser cutters, a full wood shop, a metal shop, a paint booth, CAD software, all kinds of banner and print designs. If you can dream it, we have something fun there that is fully staffed by a member of our team who works fully with students to help design and prototype physical objects. And the best thing is, just like with everything else at the Pava Center, it is free for you to use. So no charge for doing it. And you can build anything that your heart desires, pretty much. So a lot of great things there to look at. Other questions, please feel free to go ahead and throw them in the chat. Deja, what would you say, again, we work with all of the schools on campus from undergrad to postdoc. What is the split between undergrad and graduate teams that we see?
Yeah, you guys may be surprised, but it's a nice equal split between our undergrads and our grad student folks that are coming in and saying, I'm going to build something while I'm here, even if it's only 2 years for our grad students. This may be one of the only places, I can't speak for everybody on campus, but especially in the Kindling program, where you might have folks sitting across from you that are from the engineering school, from the public health school, who's a postdoc, and all of you are working together to design a new project or really solve a problem that's really impacting folks. It's a great way to network and really expand your network outside of just your degree program or even your school.
Yeah, I think overall, we have about half of our teams are graduate and about half of them are graduate or even alumni that we support. Well, speaking of relationships, I want to also ask Deja and Alex, in 60 seconds or less, could you say a little bit more about careers that you have had before coming here to Hopkins that inform your work? So I'll highlight real quick, in high school, I was that kid starting, neighborhood businesses and doing all kinds of different work. I've started my own nonprofit initiatives, and I've worked in higher ed, as I mentioned, for the better part of 2 decades, having all kinds of different roles, starting a lot of entrepreneurship, starting new initiatives such as the Pava Center, and was an associate dean before coming here and really honing in on this as the thing I really wanted to see and devote my years to helping see grow. So that's a little bit about my background. Deja, how about you?
Yeah, I've got a nice twirly route here to the Pava Center, but Unfortunately, I'm wearing a Carnegie Mellon shirt because that was my undergrad here. I'm biomedical engineer trained, and I started my career at the FDA, actually doing medical device review in the cardiovascular division. I got a business degree and a technical degree at the same time because I thought for sure I was going to build the next orthopedic startup. And then I graduated during the pandemic, and I thought that FDA sounded like a better option for me. But hey, I turned around and was able to get my way back into startups after a few years at the FDA Pava Center. So now here I am an advisor. I give out a little bit of regulatory advice, but the truth is I just love working with startups and being with founders who are truly creating something new. And hopefully I can like contribute a little bit and kind of feel what it means to be an entrepreneur beside you. But Alex, I'm curious to hear what your route has been like.
I feel like we haven't had this conversation already at some point. Thanks, Deja. I started my career in sales. I've been in sales or business development or the talent acquisition and recruitment space in one form or another the entirety of my career. I've worked in just about every sector, public, private, nonprofit, corporate, um, you name it. And quite frankly, there was a point in my career where I was kind of sensitive to that. I was like, gosh, I've done a lot of different things all over the place. Like, I need to focus a little bit here. But as I get to this point in my career, I'm so thankful for the windy, twisty road that I followed and how much I learned along the way. And it really, if nothing else, has served me incredibly well for this role and this opportunity here. There's not a lot that I hear that sounds really foreign, and I think that I'm able to help and support one way or another, or at least help point students in the right direction. Prior to joining Hopkins, I led a business development team and a recruitment team for a local nonprofit, really focused on connecting local talent with great organizations. Really focused on placing folks from Baltimore inside of organizations that have strong company cultures. And I'm incredibly passionate about that work. So much so that I left, started my own talent acquisition and recruitment firm, and then serendipitously got connected to Hopkins a number of years ago and asked to come in every summer and lead a workshop around storytelling and crafting, developing, and delivering your own elevator pitch. Absolutely fell in love with the experience. So as soon as this opportunity opened up to join the Life Design Lab here at Hopkins, I simply just jumped right at it. And going back to walking the walk that I preach, but talking about your network, I think my network had something to do with helping me join the Hopkins team because I had had that prior experience and touch points working with
Hmm.
Hopkins kind of as an outside consultant. So now a lot of the fun I get to have is to help support students go out and make new mistakes. My main goal is that you don't make all the same mistakes I made, go out and make new ones. So hopefully some of my wisdom will serve students well moving forward, but that's the short
I
version
love
of
that.
the story.
Yeah, no, that's great, Alex. I really appreciate that. And, that so resonates. I tell folks all the time, my grandfather, when he got out of World War II, went to work for a factory and he worked one job for his entire life. My
Mm.
father has worked three or four jobs, so multiple things. I hit five jobs by the time I was 26. Like that is just the new pace of the 21st century. And so that is why I believe that entrepreneurship, where you take ownership of your future and you innovate and you build new things, is the way of the future for everyone. And I got to tell you, even those of you who are like, I know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to go be a scientist. I'm going to go be a doctor, et cetera. I will tell you, as someone who provides support services for alums, those doctors are coming back to me now saying, hey, I have this idea for a great product. I have an idea for a great business. How can you help? So, again, what we are talking about here today, no matter your major, no matter what you are already thinking you're going to do with your life, these are essential skills for the future that you're going to want to play with, study, and experiment with, and build really cool things while you're here as a student. That brings up a couple of last points that I wanted to be sure to highlight before we got into any final Q&A. So if you do have any final Q&A, please throw them in the chat. I wanted to highlight that all of our incoming students have been given the opportunity for a couple of interesting pre-read articles. These are in your Canvas site as a pre-read. And we're asking you to please go ahead and take a look at them, read them, think about them, because during orientation, we're going to be running workshops with you where you are going to get the chance to ideate with new teammates, with new friends and classmates on what is a possible business that you might want to start, a new initiative that you might want to work on, a new technology that you might want to create while you're here at Hopkins. And sneak peek, we're going to be giving out $10,000 during those workshops. So come prepared. Get ready to ideate and pitch your own new idea. It's going to be really fun. Those will be followed up in the weeks right after orientation with all kinds of open houses and networking and opportunities to get involved. Again, I said it earlier, but college is what you make of it. Pace yourself, take care of your mental health, get lots of fluids and rest. But as your bandwidth and your curiosity empower you, come out to our open houses, come to our mixers, engage with all of these great opportunities and figure out where you might want to build the exciting thing of the future. And we want to be sure that you all get the chance to connect with us further. I've started out the call with saying it. If you missed it earlier, I want to highlight it again. Everything that we've talked about here today can be found on our website, pavacenter.jhu.edu. Click around, discover, and if you have any questions, just shoot us an email at pavacenter@jhu.edu. We're very fast on the response, and we'll do our best to help connect you and answer any questions that you might have. And Alex, I believe folks can connect with you further by scanning this QR code. Is that correct?
They can, yes, absolutely.
Awesome. John, I'm going to turn it over to you. Any other last thoughts, questions we didn't get to?
That's great. Well, this has been really great content. Are there any final words, panelists, that you want to leave folks with before we close for the evening?
Yeah, I'll close this out, or my final thoughts anyway, and just to kind of piggyback, Josh, to an earlier comment you just made, and we were just talking about this the other day, but I'm so excited about this call here and all of you joining us for this call. Innovation, entrepreneurship is probably somewhat interesting to you or you're curious about, which is absolutely fantastic. A lot of the work that I do is kind of pitching and making the case for students about why entrepreneurship should be a consideration. And again, I approach it from I'm thinking about the largest on-ramp that I can create for students. And Josh made a really good point about regardless of your career path, there's skills that you will learn here through the Pava Center and working with us in the Life Design Lab that's going to benefit you regardless of industry, role, or responsibility. A lot of the work that I do, again, thinking about expanding that on-ramp, if nothing else, if you don't have an idea or you're not thinking about starting your own thing, that's okay. But I think a lot about, and I talk a lot about an entrepreneurial mindset and how students can further develop an entrepreneurial mindset and a skill set that will serve them well, regardless of their career path. So keep at least 1% of your mind open to the possibility of coming and hanging out with us throughout the semester and beyond. And excited to connect with you all more closely in the fall.
Thanks, Alex. I have
Deja?
a quick thing I want to piggyback on that is these are life skills, and I do believe that convincing people to care, whether that's about your startup, whether that's about your project that you want your PI to fund, whether that's about a conference poster, is a life skill. And that is like 90% of entrepreneurship, figuring out how to communicate to the right people about the right thing. And shameless plug here, that is what we focus on in Kindling. This is all comers. Please come in and hang out. And if anything, just learn how to chat and continue to connect with folks while you're here. You're going to have an awesome time. All right, Josh, take it away.
Hey, I just want to say again, first of all, thank you to John and team for having us. Thank you to everyone who tuned in. And just to wrap up, I would say, hey, if you look at the headlines every day, there's a lot of bad news. There's some good news too, but there's a lot of bad news. And I love to look for people that don't want to run away from that problem, that don't want to just study it, but they want to roll up their sleeves and have a positive impact on the world. That is what we do here at Hopkins. It's what we do at the Pava Center. And so I encourage everyone here on the call, you have a lot of agency. You have a locus of control that I hope continues to actualize within your own heart and mind. And you can make a huge impact on the world. So get ambitious, get curious, and let's build something together. We're here to serve you and to do whatever we can to help you succeed. So come see us during orientation, come see us after orientation, reach out at any point. We can't wait to see what you accomplish and how you make this world a better place. So very much looking forward to building with you.
Thank you so much. Those are great final thoughts and really inspiring and exciting to hear what's happening within this realm. And so the students and families, hopefully that got you really excited, especially about coming to Hopkins because you have all this waiting for you. So thank you. Please join me in thanking all of our panelists, Josh, Alex, and Deja, for your time. Really great presentation. As a reminder, families, by no later than next Wednesday, we'll have the recording and slide deck available to you on the Hop on Board webpage. We do have another Hop on Board tomorrow night at 7 p.m., which is called Getting Started in Undergraduate Research. And then one that folks are usually very excited to hear about on August 5th, we are doing a Hop on Board on what to expect on student move-in. So if you're wondering what that's going to be like, you will have folks from on-campus living and myself to talk a little bit about what to expect and how to prepare. So with that, I want to say thank you again, panelists, families, and incoming students. Great to have you, and have a great rest of your evening. We'll see you soon. Good night.